Hannah's Prayer for a Son, a video to fall asleep to. Part 1. A quiet woman in a crowded house. Good evening, dear listener. As the day fades and the light outside your window grows soft, let yourself rest. Let the quiet surround you. Let the stillness become your friend. Now imagine a small village, green hills rising in the distance, and the low hum of voices around a cooking fire. In that village lived a woman named Hannah, and though the home she lived in was full of noise, her heart often felt alone. She was married to a man named Elkanah. He was kind to her, gentle with his words, but Hannah carried a sorrow that sat deep in her chest, a longing that hadn't been filled. She had no children, and in her time, that meant more than most can imagine. It wasn't just about motherhood. It was about honor, about future, about hope. Elkanah had another wife, Peninnah, who had many children, and she made sure Hannah knew it. Peninnah would speak cruelly, day after day, little comments, sharp glances, always pressing on that one wound. But Elkanah, though he didn't fully understand, would say softly, "Why are you so sad, Hannah? Don't I mean more to you than 10 sons?" It was a sweet question, but not the answer her heart needed. Hannah didn't want to explain. She just wanted to be heard, to be seen, to be known. Let that truth rest gently with you. Sometimes sorrow lives quietly in us, and no one sees it but God. No one understands it but the one who carries it. Part 2. The Long Journey to Shiloh. Every year Elkanah would take his family on a journey to Shiloh, where the tabernacle stood, a holy place, a place to worship, to give thanks, to bring sacrifices to God. The road was long, dusty, winding through hills and quiet fields. Children ran ahead. Mothers packed baskets. Fathers led the way. But Hannah, she walked in silence, her heart full but her hands still empty. When they reached Shiloh, Elkanah gave offerings, and then he gave portions of the food to each member of the family, to Peninnah and all her children. So many little hands, so many little voices. And then to Hannah he gave a double portion, a quiet gesture of love, of sorrow, of comfort, but it only deepened her ache, not because it wasn't kind, but because it reminded her of what she didn't have. Peninnah noticed, she always did, and her voice was sharp again, cutting, cruel. Hannah turned away. She stood and walked slowly toward the tabernacle, her eyes full of tears, her heart heavy, and there she knelt, not with words rehearsed, not with polished prayers, just pain, raw, real. She began to pray. Her lips moved, but no sound came. Only her heart poured out silently before God. Let that truth settle with you now. Sometimes the most powerful prayers aren't spoken out loud. Sometimes they come as tears, as silence, as the deepest ache held in God's presence. Part 3. A Prayer Misunderstood. Inside the tabernacle the light is dim. The air is cool, still. Hannah kneels alone, lips trembling, tears sliding down her cheeks. She doesn't speak aloud. She doesn't cry out. Her sorrow flows quietly, heart to heart, soul to God. She makes a promise, a simple one, a deep one. Lord of heaven, if you give me a son, I will give him back to you. He will serve you all the days of his life. Just then, a man steps into the space. It's Eli, the high priest. Old, wise, but tired from years of watching. He sees Hannah, sees her lips moving, but hears no sound. He frowns, misunderstands. Why are you here like this? He asks. Have you been drinking? It stings. He thinks she's drunk, that she came to this holy place without respect. But Hannah lifts her head. She speaks gently, clearly. No, my lord, she says. I am a woman with a troubled heart. I have not been drinking. I was pouring out my soul to the Lord. And suddenly Eli understands. He sees her, not just with his eyes, but with his spirit. He nods, blesses her. Go in peace, he says. May God grant what you've asked of him. And something shifts. Not in the world, not yet, but in Hannah. She rises, wipes her tears, returns to her family, and for the first time in a long time, she eats, and she smiles. Not because she holds the answer in her arms, but because she's left her sorrow in God's hands. Let that rest gently in your heart. Sometimes peace comes before the answer. Sometimes being heard is enough to carry us through the night. Part 4. A son named Samuel. Morning light breaks over the hills. The camp at Shiloh stirs. Children laugh softly, fires crackle. And Hannah, she rises with peace. The long journey back home begins, step by step, not lighter because of what she carries, but because of what she's released. In time, her body begins to change. The ache in her heart is replaced with life. Hannah is going to be a mother, and when the child is born, she names him Samuel, which means God has heard because he did. He always did. She holds him close, counts his fingers, kisses his hair, whispers quiet, thanks with every breath. But she remembers her promise. She doesn't forget what she said in the silence of the tabernacle, so she waits until Samuel is old enough to walk, to speak, to understand. And then one day Hannah gathers his things, takes his small hand in hers, and returns to Shiloh. Not to plead this time, but to fulfill, to give Samuel her miracle, her answered prayer, back to God. Let that truth sink in. Real love sometimes releases, sometimes gives back what was most longed for. And trust, the deep kind, is not just in the asking, but in the letting go. Part 5. A Song from the Heart. The road to Shiloh is familiar now, but this time Hannah does not come with sorrow. She comes with joy. Beside her walks little Samuel, his steps small, his eyes wide. They reach the tabernacle, the same place where she once knelt in tears, where her lips moved in silence. She sees Eli, the priest who once misunderstood her and then blessed her, and she says to him, I am the woman who stood here praying to the Lord. This is the child I prayed for, and now I give him to the Lord. And with that, she places Samuel in God's care. She doesn't cling. She doesn't hesitate, because she trusts the one who gave him to her in the first place. And then Hannah does something beautiful, something quiet and bold. She sings a prayer, but this time full of praise. My heart rejoices in the Lord. He lifts up the lowly. He fills the hungry. He gives strength to the weak. It's not about Samuel anymore. It's not even about motherhood. It's about who God is. Faithful, gentle, listening. The song echoes through the quiet hills. It becomes a part of the story that will stretch far beyond that moment. Because Samuel, the boy she gave back, will grow up to hear God's voice, to lead a nation, to anoint kings, to carry God's word. But tonight, let that story rest gently with you. You don't need all the answers. You don't need to carry everything. God sees you, hears you, meets you right where you are, even when your lips don't make a sound. Sleep now, dear listener. You are not forgotten. You are deeply loved. And the story He's writing through you is not finished yet.